Hello YouTube, this is Most Wanted, and this is episode 38 of my Feed the Beast Companion series. We're going to get straight into it, and I'm going to start building some empty patterns so that we can start crafting solar panels. Then I'll take you through all the recipes required for the solar panels. We'll stick each of those recipes in our AE pattern coder, and we'll mass produce some solar panels. Shoot. Okay. Okay, so some of the first things we have to smelt, or not smelt. First things we're going to have to be crafting are going to be our copper cables. So that's one of the reasons why I waited for rubber. Okay, so here's our pattern for rubber, or copper cables. It's a pretty key item. Doesn't require any smelting or anything, so that goes in there. Okay, we're back. As you noticed, I've cleared my inventory. We'll be pulling a lot of recipes out, and I just figured it'd be easier this way. So far we created the rubber and copper for the copper cable. So we've got a copper cable recipe in there. Let's see, what could we start with? We can start with a circuit, I guess. So we're going to need copper cable. Then we're going to need refined iron and redstone. That's right, we're doing recipes, you only need one of each. And I've got a refined iron in here. So let's put the pattern in here. It's a pattern for a circuit. So code. It's an important part. This is for the creating of this solar panel. Okay, so we've got the circuit. Let's do the generator. The generator's more of a multi-step process. Step one is we need to make a refined. So I don't think I've got refined iron in here yet. No, I don't. So we need to create one that says, hey, we could take iron and turn it into refined iron. So let's do that. It's a recipe to make refined iron. Like that. That and code. So we would take that and move it into a furnace. Yeah, it's our furnace. Oh, there we go. So now we should have refined iron in here. And we do. So when this little small stack of 45 iron runs out, then it'll know how to make more iron, refined iron. It'll smelt it, which is a good idea. Okay, and what we need to do with the refined iron is we need to create a machine block. It's a part of making the generator, which we're going to make as a part of the creating the solar panel. So we've got a circuit, machine block, and we need to create a rebattery. So that's 10. I'm going with the largest quantity stacks here because this is going to end up burning through a lot of mats, and if we don't have the mats, then the whole thing kind of stops. Okay, so copper cable and some redstone. So we'll encode that. That's our rebattery. It's another part to our generator, and the last bit is a furnace. Just a regular old cobble furnace. Alright, so we've got a furnace. We have machine block. We have ME battery. That will generate the generator. That we'll go ahead and make now. So we'll say craft 1 begin. Here's our battery. Machine block. Just to make it a little bit quicker, I'm going to throw my refined iron in there. Alright, so craft 1. That's done. And then craft a furnace. Done. Alright, so we'll take these and toss them in here. Machine block. Rebattery. Now we've got a generator, so let's say, okay, do the generator. So now, we've got all these steps all the way up to generator, and then this guy right here, along with the generator and some glass, which we already have set up, and then we need some coal dust. So, doesn't look as if we've got coal dust craftable yet. So let's make that craftable. We'll take some coal. It's got to be coal, can't be charcoal. And we'll go ahead and turn it into a dust. You could use the macerator or the pulverizer for that. There it is. Okay, get one plain one. And we're going to tell it, if you need coal dust, insert coal. And we're going to create a pattern for that. That pattern is going to then go into our pulverizer. Could as easily go into a macerator. So there it is. And it now shows up craftable. So with that, we should have everything we need to generate a generator. Let's have it do that real quick. I just put the parts back in. Tell it to make me one. There's the generator. Here's coal dust. Need glass. And we need a circuit. There's our circuit. Okay, so let's put this back in here. Circuit, generator, glass, and dust. Oops. Place that guy there. Alright, here's our solar panel. So we'll encode that and put that sucker up there. So now we have all the constituent parts to make a solar panel. We're making the generator here, and here's the generator. We're making copper cables for the electronic circuit. And then the final product is the solar panel. On a Greg tick, this would be a lot more difficult, and it's still, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, not including the refined iron and the dust and the glass that have to be crafted. So, you know, it's not something super easy to do, but it is doable. Much more doable, of course, than Greg Tech's version. So let's go ahead and make our first panel begin. Since we already had the mats, I believe it should... Okay, we're making a little bit of coal and glass that we didn't have. Okay, so here's our solar panel. They really aren't worth very much the way they come. We want to upgrade it, so we are going to go to the next tier. Next tier requires, this is a low voltage, requires 8 of these guys in a circle, and in the center we need a low voltage transformer. So low voltage is nothing really difficult to make. We make it with copper cable, and we make it with planks and copper. So let's put our planks in like so, copper up and top and bottom, and then a string of copper ingots there. So here's our low voltage transformer encoded. So now that we have this guy encoded, now we can make a low voltage solar panel. And they're a little bit more useful. You know, you can run a quarry on it, not super fast, but you can run a quarry on it. You can run like 2 or 3 industrial craft machines. Okay, if you've got a bat box hooked up, it won't last over the night, but it'll be alright. So with this, let's go ahead and craft the low voltage transformer. And these are all going pretty quick because it's not needing to process anything because we have the materials already in there. But as soon as it comes time for us to produce and the materials aren't available, then it's going to take a lot longer. Okay, so there it goes. That's a low voltage. So put that guy in there, encode him. Now we have a craftable low voltage solar panel. So that's basically tier 2. If we want to take it to tier 3 in a medium, then we'll have to make the medium transformer. But we're also going to have to make a low voltage panel, at least one. So let's go ahead and make one. And you can see here we're out of coal dust, so it needs to process the coal dust. At some point we might run out of copper cables, or we might run out of rubber, or we might run out of refined iron. At some point it might have to run some of that stuff through the machines, and that will increase the time it takes to build our panels. Looks like we might be refining iron right now. We need 8 iron, so it will take a little while for us to get 8 panels, even though we already have 1. How many did I say we needed? Just 1 low voltage. Let me put the original guy back in there. Okay, it's already crafted a second low voltage. It's no big deal. So we need to craft, what, 3 more solar panels. And we're basically, it looks like we're just hanging on the refined iron. So there's a couple different ways you could potentially speed this up. Since we're just taking iron and turning it into refined iron, we could tell it to put twice as many in as what we need, so that while it's on other crafting steps, it could also be refining. Because the way it works is it tries to do one thing at a time. Let's say right now it also needed glass. we would be stuck on the refined iron waiting for glass to come through. So since we have one furnace and the furnace has one input, even though we've got max MJ and it's running at full speed, it's still kind of slow. So what I plan on doing is bringing in the industrial craft version of the tier 2 furnace. I think it's called, which one is it? It's induction, I think. Yeah, the induction furnace. It's quite a bit faster when it gets warmed up, but you kind of have to keep it warmed up, and I don't want to just, you know, dump lots and lots of charcoal into a bunch of charcoal eating, you know, generators to trickle charge a bat box that's slowly getting drained. So we'll kind of go this route for now. It's going to be hella slow though. There's not much I can do about it. So it's making glass right now. Now it's making iron. So it kind of has to wait. It's the one downside. You know, if you're doing it the more original way, you would literally have, for every time you have to use a furnace, you would have a furnace for it. So there'd be multiple furnaces, there would be multiple macerators, there would be multiple, you know, of everything, auto crafting tables, and for every crafting job there would be an auto crafting table. I've done a solar panel factory, and I could produce a high voltage in something like, I forget how many minutes, something like 18 minutes or something. It would be a bit slower this way, but of course you're using fewer machines. So it looks like we're done. We have a low voltage here somewhere. I didn't use these guys, unfortunately. Here we go, low voltage panel. Okay, so with the low voltage panel and the medium transformer. Did I not craft that yet? Okay, let me do the crafting for that right now. Let's see. Medium transformer. Okay, that's the one with the gold wires. So we're gonna need more rubber, of course. So let's get some rubber. And we're gonna need gold. So this actually has to be done in 2 steps instead of 1, like the copper cable. Because first we have to make gold cable, because we can't make double insulated gold with a single step. So we have to encode just gold cable first, and then we have to encode adding the rubber. But before we do that, I need to make a couple more patterns. Let me just quick check to see how many more patterns. 1, 2, at least 3 patterns. So let me make like 6 or so. Maybe 10. So how do these go again? Oh, of course I can't. Look up the recipe because it's already created. So iron, quartz. Glowstone. And glass. Alright, so I'll wait until we've got, I guess, 20 glass. Which means I should probably tell it to make 20. That sounds like a plan. I think this should double them up. Yeah, we're on 13 now. While that's running, let's check our resin. 86. I think that's higher? Hard to tell. Looks good. Okay. Okay, one more. There we go. Alright, so we're on the did I not? I didn't put it in there. Okay. So let's craft one of these guys. We're actually technically crafting 12. And then we're going to put that in with some rubber. 2 rubber to be exact. Rubber can be in any location, doesn't matter. So now we have double insulated. And then in the center of that we need a machine block. So let me put this guy back. Now say craft 2. And also craft a machine block. So here are 2 cables. And we're waiting on iron for the machine block. This does get faster. I will be upgrading. I just need a couple panels to get the whole thing rolling. But for right now, I just want to show everyone the steps I'm taking to get there. So this is probably the easiest really of all of the transformers. Just 2-wire machine block done. So encode you. Put you up there. Now let's go ahead and make one. Uh-oh. Tree got hit with lightning. Begin? Shouldn't be... Oh, let me put the machine block in. It's gonna ignore the machine block now, because it wasn't in when it started. Also probably crafted more cables. Okay, now we're done. Here's the transformer. So just like the other, we're going to have lows surrounded by a medium to make our medium panel. There's our medium panel. We'll encode it. And here's where it starts getting really resource intensive, because now we have to make 8 mediums before we can get to a high voltage. And I'm not going to bother with a high voltage, but I do want a decent supply. I'd like probably, like I said, 4 to 6 medium voltages. I can always craft those up to a high voltage later, but I want to do some mediums. Mediums I think will be fine for the number of machines I have. 4 as a minimum. I want to make sure that if I get a rainy day followed by a night, then there'll be enough power available. So I'll also build an MFSU. So let me go ahead and start this process. MV? No, medium. Okay, there it is. Medium, we're going to build one. And now it's starting the process. So we're processing glass, coal dust, refined iron. If we run out of iron, then it has to process the raw ore into iron. And the same goes for copper or anything else that's in there. If I do run into that and I don't have a recipe, then I'll create the recipe and then put it in the appropriate machine. But that's really all it is. And that's really all it is to crafting with this AE. And the rest of it is just tweaking the speed of your machines, because the faster your machines are, the quicker these large strings of recipes will complete. And we're like still probably, we're on our second low voltage, so we're making more solar panels. And for each one of these solar panels, it's a machine block. So, you know, that's a lot of machine blocks. We're going to make 8 of these guys. It's 8 times 8. No, 8 times 6, because we're making 6 of these. Times, you know, 8 again for the ingots to make up the machine block. And then there's refined iron in the electronic circuits and the MV transformer. So there's a lot of refined iron. So specifically for solar panels, I think you're definitely going to want to soup up your ability to refine iron. One of the reasons, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I still have raw ore and I'm not bothering to process it, because of course when you process it you basically double the output. And I think when you double the output, then you're just running the risk of your drives filling up faster, because, you know, you're doubling the amount of items that are in there. And I think I could probably, we'll see how bad it ends up being. If it really becomes an issue where I'm waiting, then I might, you know, when I'm not crafting on a massive scale, I might batch process just by coming in here and saying, you know, craft me, you know, 256 copper, because I've got plenty of ore but not enough ingots. So I'm also going to need, since I'm working with a lot of medium panels and I want this thing to last overnight, then I want to get an MFSU. And this is not exactly the easiest or the cheapest way of storing energy, but it does work really well. And I'll have to have one of those medium voltage transformers, and potentially a low if I want to not put... Oh, another tree got hit. If I don't want to go through the steps of stepping it down, then I'll have to upgrade my other machines. So we've got Lapotron crystals, we've got advanced circuits, we've got advanced machine blocks, and we have to build an MFE in the center. Okay, we're going to go ahead and end the episode here. I really don't have enough time to get into building an MFE, so we'll do that in the next episode, along with some transformer upgrades for our industrial craft machines. This episode, though, we created a bunch more blank patterns, and we created all the patterns we needed for the basic solar panel, the low voltage, and the medium voltage, along with the transformers and other items we need to make them. And I think we did a pretty good job. We'll put those in the cooker, and next episode we'll have them done. We'll get them up and hooked up. If you guys thought anything in here was helpful, useful, or entertaining, then please like the video. And if you had any questions, comments, or ideas, then leave me some feedback. Thanks.